Hi, all of you. Am I audible? Quickly, can anybody confirm
Yes,
in
sir.
chat? Okay. So, in the last class, we were working on the Jenkins only. Okay. So, I think I covered in the last class Tomcat server, right? Have I completed the Tomcat? Let me just check. Okay, Tomcat we did not cover. We covered up to Maven only. Okay, no issue. Tomcat we will going to cover today. So this was the last one, Maven test project which we done. And if you remember, in this when we were running, so there is a jar file got created, okay, in the target folder, this jar file, and this jar file we were running on our CMD, and we were getting some output, okay. So that was the steps we done in the last class. Like this was the jar file. You can directly download this jar file to any location, and we can run that. That was the only things we saw. So let me quickly again show you. I'll click on showing folder. That location will be going to open. This is our jar file, and whenever you want to run this jar file, simply you have to open the command prompt at that particular location. And in this particular location, we have this file, this jar file. To run this jar file, we had the command java-cp1. Okay, and that command also we are taking the reference from here also. And this was the command. Simply you have to use the java-cp. So any of you tried this or started with the Jenkins or still to do? So this was the output we were getting in the last class. So have you started anybody with the Jenkins or still you have to do? Yes or no? Not started till now? Okay, so let's start with the Tomcat server. Okay. So Tomcat is will basically help you to deploy the Java-based web applications. Okay, and you have to follow the steps. Okay, whatever we are following to host that website. So basically, there is a Git repository already there in my account. Simply you have to fork that repository. Inside that repository, already Java-based web application is written. Okay, our final goal is to take the Java application code, web application code from there, and we'll pass that code to the Maven. Okay, Maven is going to build that file. Let me just write it also, so you'll not get confused what I'm telling. So basically, we are taking Java web-based code, okay, web-based app code from the GitHub, and we'll pass this information to the Maven. And since it is the web app, so Maven is going to create build file, okay, with the extension, and that extension will be .var. Okay. In case of the normal application, they are always going to create .jar. In case of web application, they will be going to create the .var. Okay. Once the Maven build file is created, what you have to do is you have to pass this var file, okay, to the Tomcat server. Tomcat server will be running on some different EC2 instance. Okay. In that you have to pass this .var file. And once you pass this .var file to that particular Tomcat server, so from there you'll be able to see that on the browser, you'll be able to see the website. Okay, so this is the flow. Will we take the code from the GitHub, pass it to the Maven. Maven will create the .var file. That .var file will copy it to the Tomcat server EC2 instance. From there, it will be visible to the browser. Exact same thing we done in case of our Apache HTTPD also. Took the code from the GitHub. Okay, index.html, if remember anybody. Okay, in the first class itself, index.html, that we moved to the EC2 instance where HTTPD software was installed. Okay, and from there will be able to access that in the browser. So that was our flow. So exact same thing, but just the involvement of the Maven everything, because it is a Java based web code. Okay. So to follow this step, the first thing you have to do is you have to launch a EC2 instance, and in which you have to make all the security group open. Okay. Just for your simplicity purpose, we are opening the all security group. So first, what we are going to do is we are launching the EC2 instance. Here you have to give the name as Tomcat server. Second thing you'll see that here they changed the thing. Previously by default Amazon Linux 2 AMI was coming. Okay, now they are directly giving you Amazon Linux 2023, just launched 2 weeks back. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to select here Amazon Linux 2 AMI, which we were using previously. Okay, so don't go with Amazon Linux 2023 or something, and later say that that part is not working or something. So simply use the Amazon Linux 2 AMI on. Okay, and after this, instance type t2.micro will be only there. Okay, key pair, you can select any key pair here. And in the security group section, basically in the network setting, click on edit. Okay, and click on add security group tool. Here you have to ask for the all traffic, and custom should be anywhere. That's all. These many things you have to do, and you have to launch the instance. Once the instance is launched, so the second thing what you have to do is you have to go to that particular server. Okay, whichever we launched now. So this is the instance we launched, Tomcat server 1. Okay, so to go inside this again, we are taking the help of the putty software. Okay, once we logged in, the first thing you have to become is the sudo switch user root. Okay, this is the first thing you have to do. Once you become the root user, then you have to follow the steps what we are doing. Okay, our final goal is to install the Tomcat server inside this newly launched EC2 instance. Okay, so Tomcat server is written again in the Java programming language. So we have to install the Java. So simply copy this command and it will install the OpenJDK Java. Okay, so simply paste it here, it will install it. Once the Java is installed, okay, what you have to do is you have to copy this link. But when you will try to copy this link, it is not going to work. Okay, because this version of the Tomcat is definitely changed. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to copy this link up to here, Tomcat 9. Okay. Just copy this link up to here. Go to some browser. Okay. And inside that browser, paste that URL, whatever we copied up to that. Here you are seeing the latest version is 0.72 or 0.73. You can go any of one. Like I'm going to the 0.72. Go in the bin folder. Inside this bin folder, you will see that there is a zip file. Wait, let me check. We have to download the not zip tar.zz one. So this is the tar.zz one 11 MB. Okay. Simply do the right click and copy the link. Okay. So everything of the link will be going to the same. Just we are using the 9.0.72. So it will be like 9.0.72. Okay, like this way. So whatever the new URL we copied, that you can paste it somewhere in the browser or something. So whenever we will require, we can directly copy it from there. Okay, so this is the thing. Now you have to simply say the command. Okay, our Java is installed, clear everything, and simply hit the command wget and do the right click. Okay, and press enter. It is going to download. Okay, so up to here is it clear, right? Any confusion up to this step? This change of version, how you can find this 9.0.72. Please try to keep it in something in chat. Okay, yeah, okay. Once you've done this, the second thing you have to do is you have to extract this file. Okay, so if you remember in our Linux class, I already taught you how to extract this file. Simply you have to hit the command tar -x for extract, v for verbose, f for forcefully, and give the file name Apache Tomcat 9.0.72 like that way. And it extracted. Once this is extracted, then what you have to do is you have to move this. Okay, you have to move this Apache Tomcat one like mv move Apache Tomcat folder, okay, to which location /usr/local/tomcat9, okay, and press enter. Why we are moving in that particular location only? Okay, so that I will tell you whenever we'll be writing the script for the Tomcat. Okay, but see, this is the steps. We are going inside this folder /usr/local. Inside that there is a directory called Tomcat9. Inside that I'm pasting all the content written here inside that particular folder. Go there. Now what we have to do is once we done this, simply we have to go inside that directory, right? So I will simply go to cd/usr/local. Okay, and here if I'll do our Tomcat9 directory is here. If I'll go inside this Tomcat9, so this is this all are the contents. Okay, if I'll do ls-l, you'll see that every contents of there inside the Tomcat9 directory. Now the question is, like in our HTTPD Apache HTTPD web server, okay, when we had to deploy the index.html website, right? So we had to keep it in some particular location. So do you remember the particular location for Apache web server? In which location we'll be copying our pay code index.html or index.php anywhere in case of the Apache web server. Then we are keeping that file to some particular location. From there, it was visible to website.
Where www.html?
Yeah, where www.html. Similarly, in case of the Tomcat9, this is the web apps directory. Okay, so in this web apps directory, you have to keep your files. Okay, at this point, the var file, whatever is going to be generated by the Maven, that should be pasted here. Then only your website will be visible. So this thing we have to keep in mind. Now, once we got the things that we have to keep our file inside this web apps. Okay. Now the real problem is if I'll go a little bit back here. Okay, and again clear it everything. So if I'll ask that who have the permission to keep the file inside this web apps directory. So currently root have the permission, that's all. Okay. So for other user who want to keep some files from the Jenkins to here, they will be not able to do so because they don't have the permission. So what we want to do is we will be going to create a user. Okay, we are going to create a user using the command called user add -r Tomcat. So we are creating a user with the name Tomcat as mentioned here. Once we created this, then this Tomcat user should get the permission of that particular directory. Okay, this Tomcat 9 entire thing. So simply I will change the command chon hyphen capital R Tomcat user group will be also Tomcat. Okay, for which location /usr/local/Tomcat9. Once we done this, then what will happen is you'll see that entire directory permission is changed to this one. Okay, so permission is given. Now Tomcat can do anything. Once the Tomcat can do anything, then the second thing, permission is done. Now you have to run the systemctl start httpd, systemctl enable httpd, this type of the things we are doing in the Apache web server case. Similarly, here also you have to create the Tomcat service. But to run the Tomcat service, you will require some type of the script. Okay, and this is the script written. And since in this script, you will see that the location of your Tomcat is written in this /usr/local/Tomcat9. That's why I moved all the content of that extracted zip file, tar file to this particular location. If you are keeping that extracted file to some different location like /home/ec2user/tomcat9, something like that. So in that case, this USR local tomcat9, wherever it is written, you have to replace that with the /home/ec2user/tomcat9. Okay. Since our script is written in this way, okay, so we are using this. Again, I am not the person who written the script. We already given you the reference here from where we are taking all this information. Okay, this is the reference. But they generated it to that particular folder. That's why I made sure that whenever we are doing in the starting only, you should move your file to this particular folder. So when you will be running this exact script, it is going to work. So you don't have to keep any other thing. So simply copy this entire thing, this entire script, okay, up to end of F line and simply do Control C and paste it here in this one. Okay. So simply I pasted this, press enter. That's all. Once you write this script, then the second thing what you have to do is you have to enable and start the Tomcat service. And since we written this script now, okay, after starting the EC2 instance, so what you have to do is you have to simply hit the command systemctl. I want to reload all the service running currently. So daemon reload. Okay, this is the extra command you have to know. Okay, it will reload entire daemon services running in your Linux machine. Once this is done, then again the normal thing like systemctl start httpd you are doing. So exactly same thing, systemctl start tomcat you will be doing. To make this tomcat every time running, even our machine restart. So we always use the command called systemctl enable httpd. Similarly, here you will be doing enable tomcat. Now to check whether tomcat is running or not, so we are hitting that command systemctl status httpd. Here we will be doing systemctl status tomcat. If it is running perfectly fine, that means we are ready to go. Okay. Now to check at which port our Tomcat is running. Okay, so either you can remember the thing or either you can simply hit the command called netstat -tunlp. You will press enter, you will see here that they are also running on the port 8080. Here you see port 8080. So since they are also running on the port 8080, so if I'll come here, this is our Tomcat server. If I'll copy this public IP, paste it here and go in the port 8080, we'll be able to see our Tomcat server will be this one. And why there will be no error in connectivity? Because we already opened the all traffic. In this Tomcat server, if you'll go in the security, in the starting itself, I opened the all traffic. So there will be no any problem and we'll be able to see this. Once you are able to see this page, okay, that means your Tomcat is running perfectly fine. Now you are ready to go. Okay, so this is our the main step. Like in our Apache web server also, we were seeing a test page and then we kept the index.html there. Then we are seeing our own page. So exact same thing we are also doing. And the irony is this software is also created by the Apache only. Okay, so all the mostly web related software which you are running in the market, okay, mostly they will come from the Apache only. And again, the Apache is owned by the Red Hat. Okay, so yeah, this is our the test page basically. Our final goal is to show that web app content to this location. Okay, so you can take the reference also, like they will forward you to some document or something like how you can do it. Okay, like how you can deploy your first web application. They will give you the example here. Okay, but we are not going on that particular thing. As a DevOps engineer, you should know only how to set up the Tomcat server, how to integrate the Tomcat server with the Jenkins, okay, how to deploy your apps on top of the Tomcat. Okay, that is more than enough. Okay, because you are not going to be the master in Java programming or something. Okay, so once this step is done and we are able to see this page, okay, then what you have to do is you have to go to this particular location. Okay, this Tomcat EC2 instance, and here I already shown you that there is a directory called web apps. Okay, and inside this web apps directory we have to keep our war file. Okay, we have to keep our war file inside this web apps directory, basically this one, 3D web apps, and this will be the exact location. So we have to keep our var files to this particular location. So just remember that /usr/local/tomcatnet/web apps. If you remember this, then everything is done. From this machine side, what you have to do is you have to deploy a var file on the Tomcat server. That is our final goal. Okay. So who will generate this var file? Definitely Maven is going to generate. Okay. But how this Maven will move this var file that is generated by them, okay, to the this Tomcat server EC2 instance. So again, they will take the help of the Jenkins. And now how Jenkins will move the var file from the Maven to this particular EC2 instance. So Jenkins will say that I will require a plugin, and that plugin name is SSH agent plugin. Okay. So simply come to your Jenkins, go to the dashboard, go to the manage Jenkins, go for manage plugins, go for available plugins, and search here SSH agent plugin. Okay, once you click on this, simply click on install without restart, and your SSH agent plugin is going to be downloaded. Once this plugin is downloaded, SSH agent plugin, okay, this one. So what you have to do is you have to create a pipeline job. Okay, so you will be writing here dashboard, creating a new item, giving a new job name, something like Tomcat pipeline, and choosing here the pipeline option, and click here OK. We are going to create a pipeline, and this is okay. Something I written in description. Then they are asking that what we have to do. Okay, so for this there is already a pipeline is there. We have to write some pipeline script here. How we are going to write the pipeline script, everything. So before this writing this pipeline script, what you have to do is, okay, you have to click on this pipeline syntax part. Okay, you have to click on this pipeline syntax part. So once you will click on this pipeline syntax part, okay, like I'm clicking here. So they are saying that you have to generate some pipeline script. Okay, so what we should write here, okay, that we are generating here from this pipeline syntax. In this, we have to choose for the SSH agent. Okay, just find whatever the plugin we downloaded, where it is. This is the SSH agent. Simply select here. Now, currently you are seeing there is nothing here. Okay, nothing it is visible here. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to click on add. Okay, click on Jenkins. Okay, now they are saying that you have to provide me all the information, okay, by which you are going to connect to this particular machine. Okay, so if I will say you that this is my EC2 instance, okay, and you have to connect using the PuTTY software, what are the things you are going to ask for me? This is my Tomcat server. Anybody? You have to connect it using PuTTY to this machine. Okay, what are the things you are going to ask me?
Port 22 should be opened.
Yeah, that is already open. It is open.
Authentication.
Authentication key pair, right? Authentication means key pair.
Key pair, sir.
Yeah, okay. So you'll require this public IP key pair. That's all, right? And you'll be able to connect. So exact same thing we have to provide here also. So we are not going with the username and password option. We are going with the SSH username with private key. Okay. Basically, our key pair is nothing called private key only. So I'll simply select this. Then they are asking for what is the ID name you want to give or something. So if you don't want to confuse, give the exact same ID name. Okay, whatever I given here, this one, deploy user like that way. Okay. If you want to keep some other also, that also you can do. Okay. But I will show you that if you are giving something different, then where you have to do the changes. That's what I will tell you. So simply here I am writing the deploy underscore user. Description also I'm writing same thing, deploy hyphen user. Now they are asking that what is the username of your machine? Like whenever we try to connect using the PuTTY, okay, what we do, we choose the user as a EC2 user. So that same thing here I'm writing EC2 hyphen user. Then they are asking that where is your private key? Okay, so I'll say that I am writing private key directly here. So how I'm going to write the private key here? So you have to come here, and when I was launching the EC2 instance, okay, when I was launching the EC2 instance, I choose a key pair that time, and that key pair was this one. So I don't have to choose the PPK file or something. We require this PIM file. Okay. So whenever you are going with this Tomcat server and whenever you are launching that EC2 instance, always select that key pair of which PIM file is available with you. Okay. PIM file is important in this case. So simply open this PIM file. I am taken this key pair only. You can verify from here. Like if I'll come down and you will show in the key pair section. This is my key pair, and that key pair contains this PIM. Okay, so I am just simply opening this. I will copy this entire PIM file and I will paste it here at this point. So I given the private key, I given the username, I given some ID name or something. Okay, and I will simply click add. That's all. So one user or with the information, everything is stored here. Okay, and I will simply say that you have to generate a pipeline script. So say this is our pipeline script. I will simply copy this. Okay, and I will paste it somewhere whenever I will require. Okay, I'm going to use it. So this is our pipeline script. So pipeline script is also we got. Now if we'll do the question mark here, okay, so they are saying that this type of the way you have to write the code, everything. Okay, so we are not going to follow this type of the method to write the code, but they are talking about that like this way you have to write. You have to use the credential deploy hyphen dev. Like here I created the credential deploy underscore user. So this type of the block is generated. Now what to write here? Okay, so if you'll see that there is a pipeline code already written. Okay, pipeline code I already written. Before writing that pipeline, also you have to understand that at the final step, okay, when our Tomcat will be able to come create the var file, that var file is going to be created inside the target folder. Okay, inside the target folder, there will be webapp.var file. Okay, because in our just now in the starting, I also showed you, or in the last class also we shown you that when Maven was creating the jar file, okay, it was getting created under the slash target folder slash dot jar. Okay, so exact same thing here also it is going to happen. So we have to remember this path also. Now, once you know this, then there is one more problem is here. Okay, what is the problem here is if I do in this machine ls-l. So okay, let me go back and here I have to do ls-l. So see, who is the owner of this? Tomcat is the owner of this. Who is the group of this? Tomcat is the group of this. But our Jenkins is going to come to this machine as which user? Anybody can tell me? I just provided the credential, right, to the Jenkins to come to this machine. So how they will be able to come? Using the which username? I just shown you, right? When I was creating the pipeline syntax.
Tomcat user, sir.
Not Tomcat. Here we mentioned the EC2 hyphen user, right? So they are going to come as a EC2 hyphen user, right? So since they are going to come as a EC2 hyphen user, then the problem is who have the permission of this all the directory everything, not the EC2 user, right? So EC2 user will be treated as a other user in this case. Okay, so as the other user, will EC2 user will be able to paste anything in the Tomcat? No, because they don't have the right permission. Okay, so they will not able to do it. So what we are going to do is, we already talked in our Linux classes that we can add a particular user in particular group. Okay, that we can do so. So exact same thing we are going to do. We are adding EC2 user in the Tomcat group using the command called user mode -a -capital G, adding it to the Tomcat group. And whom I am adding? I'm adding the EC2-user. Okay. So -a for add, -j for group. Group name is Tomcat, and we are adding the EC2 user in the Tomcat group. That is our one thing. Once we done this, then the second thing what we have to do is who have the permission to write inside this web apps. So see, this Tomcat have the permission for the read, write, execute. Okay, but this Tomcat is the user here. This Tomcat is the group. As a group Tomcat, you have only the permission for read and execute. Okay, you don't have the permission for write. And since if this Tomcat group don't have the permission for the write, so even EC2 user cannot write anything inside this web apps directory. So what we are going to do is we will simply hit the command chmod just to change the permission 771-usr. Just remember here I written user, that is wrong. Okay, we have to write usr/local/tomcat9/web apps. That's all. Now if I'll do again ls-l, so permission is changed. For the web apps, I also given the w permission. And since I given the w permission now EC2 user can go inside this directory and can paste anything. Is this clear?
Yes, sir. Just a small doubt, sir. Just I missed, sir, where the directory, I mean, group user is created, Tomcat is created, sir.
Tomcat user we created in the starting itself, right? Here itself we created it. Here we created, no?
Okay, and the group, sir, the Tomcat group.
Whenever you create the user, by default group also got created. Huh?
Okay, got it. Yeah, clear.
Okay. So once this problem is clear, okay, that now our EC2 user is added in the Tomcat group, and since he added in the Tomcat group, now he can write anything inside the web apps group because I given the chmod 771 permission. It will give the right permission to EC2 user. Once we done this, then we are coming here again. Okay, and this was the credential they are generating. Okay, exact same thing I showed you in the pipeline syntax page. They are saying that you have to write something like this. Okay, so what you have to do is once you've done this, simply copy this entire pipeline. What this entire pipeline is telling, that I will tell you. But just copy this first and then just paste it here in this pipeline one. Okay. Now, what are the things they are telling? The first thing they are telling is we are going to create a pipeline. Agent can be any tools. We are going to use the Maven tool. Why Maven tool? Again, because Maven will help us to create the build file. Okay, so hope up to this step is clear because these steps we done in the last class also. Okay, now there are few tasks I want to give them. The first task is you have to clone the code. Okay, or you have to take the code. From where you will be taking the code? You'll be taking the code from this particular repository hello-world.git. Okay, what is the hello-world.git repository? So if you'll come here, you can basically fork that particular repository from my account. Okay, I already given the link DevOps /hello-world.git. Where is that hello-world.git? This one only. So this is our repository. So whatever the code will become after forking this repository, that code you have to simply copy it from here and you have to paste it here. But you're seeing there is something red color is here. Why? Because this should be in a single line. It is coming in second line. So just do one backspace. Now this becomes the perfect URL. Git URL is this one. Okay. Once you mention this, then this Jenkins is going to that particular repository and they will clone the code from there. Once the code is cloned, then what is the second step we always do? We move our code to the build team. So now what is the build team is doing? Build team is building the code, and how they will build using the software called Maven, and they will say clean install. Okay, clean means they will clean anything is already installed package or something, and then they will install everything, whatever is written inside this, and they will create a file. Either it can be jar file, it can be the var file, and Maven is so intelligent that they can automatically get to know, okay, that this is the code written for the Java based web application. So we have to create the var file. Okay, so we don't have to worry about it. Once build is done, then the third step is the deploy code. Okay, we'll deploy our code to some production server somewhere. So our website should be visible. So in our case, our deploy code will be going to be happen here. Okay, at this position, we should see our code. So we are saying that you have to deploy the code to which SSH agent. So if you remember, we just created this credential here, right? SSH agent, uh, give the a small bracket, a square bracket, deploy user. Why I given the deploy user underscore one here? Because here also exact same mention. Okay. If you write something different name, okay, whenever you was creating the ID from add and you are writing some different name, so whatever the syntax will be generated at that time here. So definitely the syntax will be different. Okay, like in place of deploy underscore user, you are saying something like tomcat underscore user. So here you have to also mention tomcat underscore user. That is the first thing. So once they will go inside this machine, okay. So what they will do now? So one backspace here also. It is doing the read because it should be in a single line. So now everything is correct. What this code is saying is that you have to copy. Okay, you have to copy some particular file, and please don't do strict host key checking or something. Okay, what file you have to copy? So Maven will create a file in this particular directory /webapp/target/webapp.var. Okay, this things I already shown you the screenshot. Or when you will do 2 to 3 times practice, you will get to know that Maven is always going to create the var file or jar file inside the target folder. Okay. Once this var file is created, then what you have to do is you have to copy this file and you have to paste it in which machine? You have to paste it into this machine. EC2 user @ this public IP. So this public IP is not correct. We'll be going to write our own public IP of the Tomcat. Our Tomcat is running on this public IP. This public IP. Simply copy this public IP of the Tomcat server and paste it here. Now we given the EC2 user @ public IP. They require one more thing, right? Private key. From where they will take the private key? Private key value is already stored in this deploy user. When I was creating this pipeline syntax here, okay, we already given the private key, we copied there, we pasted there, so they are going to take it. So now they have all the things. They have the username, they have the public IP, they have the private key also stored here. Okay. Now where they will pasting this? Okay, they will be pasting it somewhere inside this Tomcat server. So I said you. Let me just restart it again. Sudo switch user root cd/usr/local/tomcat9 ls-f. So we have to paste our var file inside this web apps directory. Okay, cd web apps. Currently, you'll see in this web apps directory there is no var file there, but we have to paste it inside this location /usr/local/tomcat9/web apps. That's why I written this part /usr/local/tomcat9/web apps. Once I'll click on apply and save, then what is the flow? They will take the code from the GitHub. They will pass the code to the Maven. Maven will create the build package .var extension. That var file we are copying from there and we are pasting inside this Tomcat server machine. Is this flow clear? This pipeline one? Or any confusion is there? You can ask me because the next step is just to show you the exact practical. That's all. Because every setup, everything is done. I'll simply click on build now and our website is going to be deployed. Okay. Now simply click on apply and then click on save. Once you've done this, now currently if will show in the nothing is there, no build, nothing is created. Simply click here build now. That's all. We are going to click here build now. And once they will start the build, so how the flow is going to happen? So simply do underscore, do the console output, or just let it check it from here also. First, they are cloning the code from the GitHub repository. Once the cloning code is done, now they are building the code. Okay, who is going to build the code? Maven is going to build the code. Once the build code will done, then only they will deploy it to the Tomcat server. So let's wait once the build will complete. Okay, build is done and they deployed the code also. Okay. Now, since they deployed the code, now if I'll try to do ls here, so see this webapp.var file came here. Previously it was not there. Now the webapp.var file came here. That means var file is successfully copied. But what they copied? So if we'll come here in this is our repository. Inside this, they went to this webapp directory. Okay. From this webapp directory, they went to this folder. Maven went basically. Okay. And they saw that there is a code here index.jsp, something like this. Okay. And in this file, there is this many contents is written. This is basically a Java servlet program. Okay, if somebody knows Java, they should understand. Okay, this is a Java servlet program written. So our var file is basically created from this code only. Okay, so as a customer perspective, we don't know how you written the code, how many files you created, because at last we are going to see this var file in the website. That's all, nothing else, because this var file contains all the information of this. Okay, and if we'll do here console output also, if we'll go console output to detailed part, you will clearly see that they started to work. And the first thing they done was they cloned the git repository. Once they clone the git repository, that the second thing they done is Maven clean install. So they start to run for project, whatever the packages they require, they downloaded it from the central repository. Okay, and after doing all these things, basically currently the build step is going on. Okay, once the build step is completed, so yeah, up to here build step is done. Once the build step is completed, so everything was success. Okay, so once build success was happened, okay, like once build is successfully happened, then what they done is they use this credential you stored inside the deploy underscore user. If you remember, this was the pipeline syntax, deploy underscore user, where we stored our credential. Okay, basically the private key. So they took this IP address EC2 user at the rate this public IP, whatever I given, this public IP is of our Tomcat. Okay, they went there, and for that they required the private key. That private key they took it from here, this credential store that we are storing with the help of the SSH agent plugin. Okay, and once they went inside this machine, what they done is they copied a file. Okay, which file they copied? They copied this webapp.war file to this particular location. That's all. Since they copied it and at last it is coming as success, that's why we are able to see this var file here. Okay, now once the flow is clear, then if you try to refresh this page, okay, you will see that still they are showing the same page only. Okay, but if you'll do here /webapp, you'll be able to see your website. This is my website. Okay, this website is coming from this page, src main web app index.jsp Java servlet program. Okay, this is coming from here. If I'll do some changes, okay, like if I'll say like .devs, just take an example. I'm just writing like this for extra symbol, something like I added. Okay, and I am doing commit changes. So once I done this commit changes, I can again trigger the webhook also. I already shown you how to trigger the webhook everything. Okay. But if I'll refresh this page, currently that page is not visible. Why? You know the reason, because webhook is not set up currently. So automatically this GitHub is not going to tell to the Jenkins that something change happened. So in that case, what you have to do is we have to manually come and we have to click here build now. That's all. Click the build now. The second time they are going to clone the code, they will take the latest code now. Now they will again try to build the code, the var file one. And once again they will build the code, so they are going to paste it here, the latest var file. Okay, so they pasted the latest var file. Once they pasted the latest var file, now if we'll refresh this page, here we'll be seeing the extra symbol will be added like this. Okay, so this was about the Tomcat. So anything you have to ask? I think I explained 2 to 3 times, so it will be clear. But anybody have any question? This is the var file here deployed. Okay, and here /web app directory we are able to see this content. Okay, anything? Okay, so see what we done currently, we written the code. That code we passed to the build team, and build team to we went to the deploy team. Okay, this was the thing we done. Tomorrow I will show you that how after writing the code to do the build, okay, and then how we'll test the code. Okay, so this is the also one stage, right? After test we basically deploy. So this test part I will show you tomorrow. We will be using the SonarQube tool, okay, to test our code. That we will be going to see tomorrow. Okay. So if no question, then we can conclude for today. Okay, practice it, and anything you are facing difficulty, you can ask me in the next class. Okay, tomorrow next class we'll be using the SonarQube now. Thanks, Anush.